Well, the McDonald clan are going to eat breakfast. It is Sunday here, and Mr. Evans, Bob, has offered to cook us breakfast. Hey, has offered to cook us breakfast, so we're gonna go there, get a little bite to eat. Now I know I'd scared a lot of people last week, saying, you know, we got to get these horses out of Ontario. I was gonna move a ton of horses to Massachusetts, and you know, everything I did was I was trying to base it on what would logically happen in Ontario. I was thinking at the time that June 1st to June 15th would be when Ontario would be back up. And if that was the case, if they moved towards June 15th, then probably should get them out of there. But if you're going to talk about May 20th to June 1st, which is what the government is saying, then it makes little sense. There's such a thin line there. It makes little sense to move them, especially, I keep using no free lunches as a point of interest, so to speak. When it comes to no free lunch, you would have to come here, get 2 qualifiers, then ship somewhere to race. That is May 20th. So do we ship the horses out simply just to put mild workouts into them, or maybe one start and just ship them back? Is that a benefit? At best, it may not hinder them. At worst, it could be a drain. So what do we do? So I've sat home many nights and sat in the car many days thinking about how not to make a mistake when it comes to these sophomores. And I think if we're going to use the timeline of May 20th to 26th, it makes little sense to take any of them. I am taking War We Welcome because she can race in a maiden here, there, or anywhere, and we can ship her back. A very versatile horse. Once she's ready to go, she would have to requalify for here, I believe. So I've told James, if you're leaving, bring the truck and trailer, bring a couple of horses over across with you. Doyle Transport can take the rest, and we'll qualify Where We Welcome here. She can race here, she can race the Meadows, she can race Yonkers, she can race in Massachusetts, she can race anywhere and go back home, but she can race right now. And not a lot of horses fit into that. Even Adrenaline Rush, he needed another qualifier. To put another qualifier into that horse, and then race him. Again, if you're looking at May 20th, it's wasted time, and quite frankly, wasted money. So looking at the numbers, I'm not a scientist or an epidemiologist, I've said this a million times, but looking historically how the numbers have moved in Ontario at least, especially factoring in the amount of people there now they got their act together, now they're vaccinating people, a lot of them. I think I read there was 123,000 vaccinated on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, which is good. You know, there's a part of me that says, are you the firefighter that showed up when the house burnt down? I don't know. I guess better late than never is a way to put it, I suppose. So when you factor in how this virus would burn itself out and the numbers would come down on its own, the ICU would start to come down, the pressure on the hospitals would be alleviated. May 20th really isn't that hard to believe. It's a month from now, pretty much. You know, when we were all asked in Ontario to stay home for 2 weeks, we know that's going to be extended a little bit. By staying at home, that really starves out this virus. Factor in the vaccinations and the way that this is historically... no, we'll get more at the restaurant. And the way this is historically moved, it's not unrealistic. Want to hold my finger? That's a girl. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
It's not unrealistic to think that May 20th could be a deadline. If that was the deadline, that would almost immediately make it impossible to move most of those 3-year-olds out. So let's get to where we're going. Adrenaline Rush trained yesterday in 2-4 at the farm. James went with Northern Blizzard. They trained together. They're staying tight. Adrenaline Rush, I would like to see May 20th them open up and have 2 qualifiers now. He's going to need 2 more. It's going to be impossible to keep him tight otherwise. This time may not hurt him. So Adrenaline Rush, Adrenaline Rush will be ready to go when we open. Barbie's Crown also. Going to turn her out in the grass for a week, but I would like to have... Can you get all that stuff, Abe, please?
It rolled under Mom's seat really far. I can't grab it, but I can get the Saki.
Okay, get both if you could. Barbie's Crown looks good and appears to be putting weight on. So for Steve, hey, do you want Saki? Okay, hold my hand. It's okay. Hold my hand. Good girl. So Barbie's Crown's put on some weight and is starting to look good. Look at the kitties out there. That'll work for about a week. So Barbie's Crown has put on some weight and looks good. So this is a horse that will benefit from this time off, actually. So I'm happy in that regard. Better's Hope, James said, trained better. Trained better this week, but was still running in. Might have him up to the vet again, just to have a little look-see at him, make sure he's all right. I was rather happy with his qualifier, but he is going to need to do more. Blue Monk, it was racing good, coming in off 2 wins. Coming in off 2 wins in Ontario. There was a horse also I had real reservations. I was thinking of moving him, but to race him in the non-winners of 3 over here, is he going to pace 53, 54 at the Meadows? I don't know. So, keep looking for the kitties. Meow. Braemar. Braemar was a little flat the other day. We brought him back here. Yeah. Okay, I'll get it. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. Thank you. Meow. Braemar was a horse that had raced really well in his first start, had a good time, and then kind of raced flat his next start. Finished fifth the other day. I expected more. So we scoped him after. There was a little bit of mucus there, a couple of drops of blood, but nothing that we can't dry up and clean up. He'll be back next Saturday in the Stallion Series at the Meadows. Brilliant Corner is a horse I'm very, very, very interested to see what's going to happen with this guy this year. I know I only went with him once this winter, but I thought he looked tremendous, and I can't wait to see how he looks when the year starts. Broadway Roll raced great the other day, 3rd in the mud in 58. I know Mark Beckwith was very, very pleased with her, and he thinks that she'll have a good race coming this week. Can't Muscle Me, another horse we qualified, was ready to go, continue to keep her tight. And as I said, I'll talk to Harry. I want to make sure they are in to qualify the first day they're ready to qualify. Cut the Line. She's in the Ohio Sale. They trained her in 2-1 or 2-2 at the farm. Still not enough. The track's short and great. She looked good. It would need an override from James, which I don't think you're going to find. I would need an override from James to keep her out of the Ohio Sale on the 11th, and I just don't think that, a reprieve from the governor, so to speak, I just don't think that's going to happen. First Glance continues to train good. He's ready to go, and he'll be ready to go when the races start. Fox Valley Britska has been racing here, raced great 2 starts ago, raced poorly the other day. Figured out what was going on. His muscle count was a tiny bit high, little dehydrated. We can get him going this week. Frilly Fringes schooled great in 2-2 in the mud the other day. She'll be ready to go Tuesday for Billy Davis Jr. Gray is a new red. You know, we had a lot of people almost send death threats when she won the race, and I made it known that we put her in the sale. We needed those avenues, and you can see why last night. We're not certain. I'm not certain that this is going to be an effective filly all year long, and if she's not going to be a stable horse, and she's not going to be a stable horse. And, you know, I truly respect when everybody sends nice messages along and lets people know how their horses are and how they feel about their horses. At the end of the day, we're not keeping condition claimers to ship them all over the world. If they are condition claimers, at that face value, they're not really stable horses. If you can show me where a horse can win races every week, fine, I can make an argument to keep that horse. But to take a filly out of Ohio that's not good enough to race here, ship her back to Ontario to race in condition claimers, hoping she'll do just because we've put the time and money into her, doesn't really make sense, and it's not really that fair to everybody that owns the horses. There's a real rift sometimes, you know. People believe when we buy these horses, sure, when you enter the stable, you do so knowing that the expectation of turning a profit and making money really isn't there. I don't believe it's consistently there in horse racing, and for me to sell and market and advertise our stable in that way is unfair to you. It's unfair to us. But at the same time, that doesn't mean we're okay and I'm okay with consistently losing your money on horses. And I can assure you that if Gray is a New Red isn't competitive in that series she was in last night, she will not be competitive as a sophomore in 2021, and you will consistently pay us to train her. It's not really that fair to you. At the same token, she's a great filly with a good mark and a decent bloodline. Probably get decent money for her. So this idea that we should just keep all horses because we know going in that it's not for turning a profit is unfair to the people that are here trying to buy horses to race in and hopefully, you know, win races and potentially make money. Although that is not our model, And although I'm very upfront about that, at the same time, I don't really have much interest in keeping racehorses here that I know can't make money. So there has to be, before you judge anybody else, why don't we all just try and take a second and walk in everybody else's shoes for a second? I'm left in being tasked with the toughest job of trying to mediate and work with everybody who have very different feelings about the stable. So first and foremost, we need to have horses that are competitive. And that's just the way it is. So Gray Is the New Red needs to do more quickly. So we'll see how she races next week. And for everybody that thinks that maybe I'm the reason that she's not racing good, I got good news for you. Next Saturday I won't be here. We have horses racing in Miami Valley and here. Travis Henry will drive Gray Is the New Red next Saturday in Northfield Park. GW Chrome raced good the other day, finished second. Drew the 6 hole, not a great spot for him, but you know what? He was very amenable to doing everything I asked him to do the other week. I think I might just drop. Well, I'll look left leaving the gate. If there's horses leaving, I don't have to. I can race George from off the pace, no problem at all. Holy Chick, got a tough week coming with Holy Chick. She hit that hawk and it blew up quite large the other day, so we need to work on Holy Chick and figure out what we're going to do with her. I don't know if racing her to the 8 hole with a ginormous jack is the best way to go. You're asking for trouble. So if you're going to put a gun to my head today and say, Anthony, what are you doing with this filly this week? She may be scratched on Wednesday, but we'll see. It's not the end of the world, but you need to treat it properly. We will see. Much like if a horse hit their knee and their knee blew up, you can put them back in to go, but you're asking for trouble, and that's almost the exact same situation we're in here with Holy Chick. Glare AM trained great here yesterday. I went with her. She was awesome. She's coming in hot and looking really, really good for Wednesday's race at the Meadows. I'm a Lovely Lady raced well in her last start, and as I said, quite plainly, she raced how she looks. She's going to look better, and she's going to race better in the future. I think she's going to have a good season in front of her. She'll race next Saturday in the Buckeye. Italian Grit, little flat the other night. Travis loves this horse. He's going to get a good look at him on Wednesday because there's 2 of our horses in there. He'll have to race against George. Unfortunately, Italian Grit drew the 8 hole. We'll see how Italian Grit races. Jazzy Judy trained good again here on Saturday. I said to Jason, just keep training her mile and a half, mile and a half, mile and a half, mile and a half. We'll snap her on the bike in a month and a half and go mile and 2.8. I'd much rather it like that. You know, without that, I know everybody in a perfect world, and James is like this, likes it structured 240, 238, 235, 230, 225, which is awesome. I would rather train the horses a mile and a half every week or so, stretch them out a little bit on the last half, and then in a month when you know they're starting to put that muscle on and their cardio is coming up, snap them in the race bike, go mile and 2.6 and 2.8, and then say, okay, how does the horse feel today? I think that's the easiest way to do it because every horse is different. That is how I like to do it, and that is how it's going to be done with Jazzy Judy. Keystone Raven trained pretty good on Saturday again, just like Cut the Line. Not a lot of places for this horse. I feel bad because I should have had the answers on this horse long ago. She got injured, then she got sick, then there was a lockdown. There always seemed to be a reason not to have the complete information ready on Keystone Raven, and it's just unacceptable any longer. I trained her enough to say she's not a stake filly. She's not what we need her to be. She needs to leave. Miss Meringue. Now, Miss Meringue trained on Saturday. Trained okay. Still over on the right shaft again. We had that lag ultrasounded left hind. There's still a little bruising in that high suspensory area. Nothing, you're not going to use words like tears or ruptures or anything like that. Little bruising in there. So the vet asked just to blister that for the next week. Don't train her Wednesday or Saturday. We'll re-ultrasound her in 10 days, and then you can push forward. I know a lot of people are saying, well, when will she be ready? Well, best to have her ready right than hurt her. And that's what will happen if we push right now. So no concerns with her. There's no issues yet, but we're staying on top of the potential issues that lie ahead down the road. Dodging those landmines are very, very important, especially for the future of this filly. Mama Knows Best qualified awesome last week. She is going to race in the Buckeye next Saturday with My Jazz, and I'm a Lovely Lady. We'll get to Jazzy in just a minute. My Jazz, still pretty sore on that foot. She had another little piece of infection blowing in there. There was something festering in there for quite a while. I still believe we can have her ready for next Saturday. So we'll see how old Jazz does this week. No Free Lunch is ready to go, continues to be ready to go. As I said, the one directive from me to every trainer in Ontario will be simple. On May 20th, I want every horse on that property that should be ready to qualify. No Free Lunch most definitely is one of them. Northern Blizzard trained in 2-4 yesterday. He's well on his way to being ready to roll right now. Perfect Record, a break at the Meadowlands the other night. I have to talk to Mark still. Haven't spoke to him yet. These things happen. I know they made a couple of little changes with him. I thought he was trotting good, but it looked like he was interfering a little bit also. So he's in with some Bearcats. Just so you know, the horse that won the race was a $450,000 yearling. So it's not like we're racing against inferior animals in New Jersey. So I'd like to get him an easy start somewhere. Hey. An easy start somewhere. Ava, Ollie. Don't talk. Rose Run, why not? Rose Run, why not? Still a little pinchy on that left hind. We're going to probably ease back with her a bit. Her and Miss Meringue are going to be late for the party. Mummy's over here. I just saw Mummy's car go, so we're going to go pick her up. A little late for the party this year, but that's all right. Still lots of fares. And the second Buckeye is quite a ways away from the first one. So there won't be any issues at all. There won't be any issues at all with getting them ready for the summer. They're just not ready right now. Where does that leave me? Cyrus Blue Chip, he's got one more start. As I said to Mark Beckwith was straight up. Great guy to deal with, great guy to talk to. He was straight up. I said, listen, if he's not going to do, he said, we'll get him in the cheapest race we can, get a win, and then shop him around to somebody. So for now, Cyrus Blue Chip, one more start for Cyrus, and then we'll make a decision on him. So Admirable, a little sick the other day, and one ankle was bothering her. He wanted to do some work on her. He wanted to do some work on So Admirable. Okay, so here's reverse. Look, we push that button, and then push up.
I did that.
No, you didn't do that, because if you did that, it'd be in reverse like now. My wife struggled a little bit with the reverse in my car. It's all right.
It did not work.
Oh, it didn't work. It's more likely that you didn't do it right, or more likely that my car was not operating properly today.
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
I can tell you everything.
Reverse.
Say bye to Meow. Say bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So Admirable. Ankle's fine now. I think he was going to do a little work on her, and she was a little sick. So I said, Mark, you don't have to race the horse. Just get her right. So Admirable will be racing next week, I believe. Show race. Sweet Ambitions, huge mile 2 weeks ago, an absolute piss poor mile. Excuse my French. This week, we brought her back to Northfield Park to work on her. Probably school her a little bit Thursday, and then have her back to Tim for next Wednesday. Tanzanite Tricks, by all accounts, putting some weight on. Exactly what I want to see. We'll race her throughout the summer in Ontario. If she gets to freehold later in the summer into the fall, that would be great. But for now, just want to get Trixie back going. That's my girl, trained here in 2.5 last half and 58 last quarter and 29 the other day. Made a break in the first turn. Jumped over something, looked like a shin boot or something there. Hey, let her look at that, please, honey. No, don't rip it, Addie, okay? That's my girl, ready to go in a schooler on Thursday. Tipsy and Dixie will be ready to go this week also. Or not this week. She's ready to go right now. As I said, another horse that'll be on Harry's list, to-do list, have them ready to rock on May 20th. No exceptions. Walk on the Moon fits on that list. I know Mario wanted to train him in 2 minutes the other day. Wanted to go over to Classy Lane. As I told him, there will be a snowball's chance in hell that they will let you into Classy Lane to train. Classy Lane's a 7/8 mile track, I believe, if not a mile. And it would have been a great place to go in 2 minutes. Oh, goodness. A good place to go in 2 minutes, but they said nay to that, which I knew they would. Just keep going a mile in 2.4, 2.5 at Tamiko. That'll get you a mile in 59 when you go over to Mohawk, no problem. Walk on the Moon, again, he'll be on that list. Make sure they are ready for the 20th of May. Where We Welcome is coming here because she doesn't fit that bill. She can race right now. We're going to qualify her on Thursday. Where we race her after that, I don't know. Be a little bit of a spin the bottle. It'll either be here, Pennsylvania. James is going to New York. She fits a maiden in Yonkers. I don't know if she's good enough there. We'll see. Or Massachusetts. We have, the sky's the limit for Where We Welcome's next couple of starts here in the U.S. Well and Down was exceptional. Exceptional last night. If I get out, if I move her down the backstretch, I almost did, but I said, she's coming off that bad line, And it's great to look at it. Dinosaur book. It's great to look at it in hindsight and say, oh, you could have moved her. If I move her, she jogs. No two ways about it. Just coming off that line, not knowing how she'd finish up on Lasix, I didn't want to push the envelope. I played it conservative, pulled a James Audible, and, you know, she was flying on the end of it. Race huge. Raced her way right into the Buckeye next Saturday. So good for her and good for the owners of Well and Down. Hey, guys, stop. And then won my heart Hanover. Huge mile out of her last week. 56-1 on a cold, windy day. That was a big mile and an impressive, best race of her life and an impressive race at a Won My Heart Hanover. So, those are your 3-year-olds. I'll be back. Still got lots of videos to do today as I'm not driving down the road. Yes, I'll put my seatbelt on. My apologies. Everybody notices that now in the videos. Got it? I'll be back soon. We still got the 2-year-olds to talk about. I'll get all the burns right today. I'll get them right. Be back in a little bit. Talk to you soon.